Okay, Heroes of the Storm balance update July 26th. It is Wednesday today. I'm going to be doing this balance update review, or preview I should say, as I haven't had a chance to try it yet. It just came out about 45 minutes ago. And I'm going to try this one without the Twitch chat on the side, so sorry, no Twitch denizens spicing up this update, but want to see what you guys think about it this way. So please leave your comment in the comments below. Okay, so this is a balance update of Wednesdays. It's not one of those Mondays where, on account of being a Monday, it is a big balance patch and design change as well. So there's no new heroes coming out on Wednesdays generally. It is just a tuning of the numbers generally, with a few bug fixes that were either easy enough to fix to fit in a Wednesday update, or important enough to divert extra resources to. This is how I understand how Blizzard does their updates for Heroes of the Storm. So without further ado, let's get started. As you can see, these heroes are going to be getting some changes. And for fun, we always do a quick pass to see which heroes we think are going to be getting nerfs and buffs. Just kind of our predictions. Genji has been getting a lot of complaints. He has good win rate at the high ladder. I expect nerf. Greymane, I expect Cursed Bullet nerf. Tychus, I'm not sure. Xul, maybe a bit of a nerf. He's doing pretty good, but I'm not sure. Stukov, maybe a little bit of a nerf. Uther, I definitely expect a nerf. Chen, I actually heard about that one already, so he gets a drinking change. Muradin is the lowest win rate warrior across the board, so I expect a buff. Rexxar, I expect a buff, and Stitches, I expect a nerf. He's been doing really well both in pro play as well as on the ladder, even for people that don't know how to hit hooks. So let's get started. First of all, Genji. He's going to be getting a 50 HP nerf, which is about 3%. A little bit less than 3%, so I think that's fair. Shurikens will go up in mana. Wow, that's a pretty big deal. You know, Genji, he can go out of mana, especially if you're not prone to feeding. But it's not that common. It will be a little bit more common right now. And so, you know, spamming out shurikens for little to no gain, because they don't do that much damage, especially at long range, is going to be slightly negatively incentivized compared to before. However, relatively speaking. However, it will still be able to be used quite effectively. Now, Genji had an above 50% win rate at the Master and Grandmaster leagues, but he had below 50% below. And this kind of fits with his design where he's hard to play, but he has really high reward centers for achieving good results. As it stands right now, I would recommend everyone at Diamond and below not to bother with Genji, to ban him. Just try him out, because he's got more nerfs. Dragon Blade increasing cooldown 20 seconds, 50% mana cost increase, and also the dodge charges from 3 to 1. That's such a good one. 3 charges was too much. The frustrating thing about this one was, first of all, the whole talent here is about deflect, which is kind of like his thing, his design kit. And then suddenly there was dodge. It just felt a bit weird and strong. 3 charges meant if you hit him 3 times...
I can't believe
Oops, I forgot to mute that one. Thank you very much.
Stream. Your Samuro gameplay is always fun to watch.
Thank you very much. The frustrating thing was, if you auto-attacked him 3 times, he would shrug off all 3, not getting dismounted, and also not interrupting his channel on tributes, Dragon Knights, and so on. So that was a little bit too good. I'm really happy with this change, and I think this definitely would bring Genji to the point where if a Genji does pop off, does perform well, does get a lot of kills, and stays alive, we can now truly appreciate his skill and not just bemoan the fact that he's too strong. I think this is really good changes. So maybe it's time to bring respect back to Genji, if they do well. Cursed Bullet was too strong in my opinion, and I think that's a good change, but it's still strange that they buffed it before. This is literally a reversal of the buff that he got a few patches ago. Supposedly Go for the Throat is still better in certain situations, like some pro play strategies and by certain Greymanes, but this is just really easy value on a 30-second cooldown. I think that's a good change. This is his minigun trait, actually. Should be D, not Q. Cooldown reduction increased. Okay, well, since I don't even know that this talent existed, I would say it's probably a good buff to something that barely gets used. Xul. Skeleton's a little bit less tanky, so they will take a little bit less ammunition from towers, a little bit easier to clear. 1 second increase on Karset strikes from 15 to 16. I think that's fair. Xul is very powerful in Hero League. He can single-handedly, well, he has two hands, so double-handedly, I guess. I think you need both to swing the scythe, even though he's posing here cool, but the scythe is lifting. It's weighted on his shoulder, that's why he can carry it like this. Anyway, he can two-handedly two-man lane clear very easily and give his team a lot of advantage. Backlash was the best, so I think that's a good change as well. More CDR per attack. He gets about 5 attacks, so that's about a second of change. If you don't factor in the level 13 attack speed increase. So that will cancel out this effect. So this just makes it a little bit worse in teamfight, but roughly the same for wave clear. 1 second more off possible. So it can be slightly better at wave clear and it's slightly worse in teamfights where you're only hitting 1, 2, 3 targets. Okay. Stukov, healing pathogen mana increase. He has not much mana issues, so I think that's fair. Flailing swipe, pushback more. Wow. This should be the ult to go to then. I already felt like it was the better one in most cases. And it's gonna push back more. So I'm assuming all three push back more. That's really, really great distance. Spine Launcher, which is cool, but I never got because I thought the Growing Infestation was too good. It's going to get a buff, half a second more slow. Okay, fair enough. Matches attack speed. His W projectile needs to hit only 15 and 30 instead of 20 and 40 to get the cooldown reduction from 10 to 7.5 to 5 seconds of total cooldown. Not bad. Ooh, the best talent has got a big downside now. I think that's fair. I mean, Lurking Arm is a fairly small radius, and then it would increase this much. And you had no downside, so you just had to take it for it to be really good. It had a lot of talent synergy at 7 and 13, like the lingering, the cooldown reduction or the range at 7. And so I think that's a good change. Now you have upside downside here, you have upside downside here. This is the downside in this one, it doesn't do anything until you complete the quest. So he's got a lot of plus minus talents at level 1, I think that's fair. This one I think is already quite good in comparison to Vigorous Reuptake for 4-man lanes. It has a better early game because you don't have the quest. This one is like you need 50 pops of your D on the queue. And that's quite a hefty quest that takes a while to complete. So this does give better early game. And it was good in 4-man lanes. But now it's good in 3-man lanes as well. And I think that's a good change because otherwise this is only a 2-lane map talent. And now it's a 3-lane map talent as well. If you're part of the 3-man. I think it should have always been like that, actually, if you think about it. Mana refund increased as well. So, I would say if you need good early game, for example, you are against a Sylvanas, you're going to want to take one good spread, because you don't want to fall behind against Sylvanas. And so you shouldn't plan for the late game, because she's bad in teamfight anyway. The only reason you lose to Sylvanas is because you fall behind, or you throw hilariously in the late game. Small change here, not really worth talking about because it goes a bit too deep. So his level 20 talents on Stukov were plagued by big downsides, all 3 of the talents. And one of the things was that you could separate the triple swipe to 3 separate cooldowns. But it took too long to recharge all 3 cooldowns. And it took too long in between casts, and they fixed both those things. Now it can be swipe 1 second, swipe 1 second, swipe it. Instead of like the whole thing over the course of 6 seconds. Nice changes, and also good, yeah, good changes. I mean, they have to feel good. Even if he ended up to being too strong, he would take away power somewhere else, and they did. But the 20s felt bad, and now it's a lot better. And this is good too. It was very difficult to get 1.5 seconds of pushback. So now if you push back for 1.25 seconds, keeping in mind that the travel speed is faster as part of the talent, then you get the 5-second cooldown instead of the 20-second cooldown. So I'm looking forward to trying these out. Uther is the #1 support right now at Pro Play and in High Hero League. And he's really good for anyone. And so they nerf his healing, increase his mana cost, and yeah. So it's about 4% Holy Light healing reduction. It's pretty significant. And a hefty increase on mana. The thing is, Uther became so good at sustain healing with his level 1 W quest, together with the way his whole kit worked, that even taking Lunara, Gul'dan or Nazeebo didn't counter Uther anymore. He was literally the best support pick in almost any situation, with a few exceptions of the occasional Ariel with a proper battery, a proper Bestow Hope target, and sometimes some others like Rhaegar on Battlefield of Eternity because he has more damage on the Immortal. But pretty much on the whole he was the best in every situation against both burst and sustain, and this hurts that a little bit. Not a lot, just a bit. And overall it's okay to bring his power level down a bit. I don't know if there were maybe other ways to do it, but I think it's fair. Chen. Instant 25 brew upon activation. So you can literally just tap D, keep moving. You get the 25 brew. You can do another kick, you can do another fire, or another kick and another slow. Great change. This is just to compensate the fact that he gets it instantly, and overall it's really good for him. And then this gives him more survival. No, it doesn't give him more survivability. I mean, to a degree, yes. And then they make Elusive Brawler a bit weaker. Longer cooldown, less CDR. I think that's fair. The uptime was slightly too often. But that does mean that Chen now is slightly less survivable and is slightly more aggressive. Like slightly more spell casting. Bit more bruisery. His survivability has been hurt over the past 10 patches for Chen. So he's definitely a little bit harder to play. Not the classical warrior, but he's got strength. Let's not forget that Chen enjoyed a 90% win rate at the mid-season brawl. He was often used together with Abathur in a kind of unkillable comp. Double warrior, Abathur, support, and 1 assassin. And you should still enjoy really good power levels in those settings. He's just not a always pick warrior, which I think is fine. Muradin is the lowest win rate warrior, and he gets a health increase of 130, which is about 5%. That's pretty significant. That should make him a little bit better. A little bit late to increase the text size, but I guess it is a good change that I could have done before. There we go. Okay, Rexxar gets a massive buff. I heard about this one on the interwebs. Interesting change. Well, this kills the Batman. No, I said Chen is not an always pick warrior. And still won't be. Wow. I would still rather take the block or the regen master. But if you're dealing with Cloakies, that is one of his biggest threats. Cloakies on the Rexxar, bypassing the Misha. So I guess that's fair. Should help him in quick match as well. Although, to be fair, with quick match, half the games don't have support. You still probably rather have the regen master. But okay. So Stitch is one of the best performing warriors, and he's the kind of hero that, because he has hook, because he can, like a good hooker, can get pickoffs, can come back from deficits, can reverse throw, can win the game for you. Stitches is never allowed to have a general utility, damage and tankiness level that puts him at 50% win rate. Because if Stitches is 50% win rate, it's the bad hookers that tear down the good hookers. So, the fact that he's like first pick material at mid-season brawl, completely not okay. And this is what he gets. Heavy Slam damage nerf and Gas damage nerf, which is a synergy with his level 4 Putrid Ground as well as his 7 Toxic Gas. Good changes. I don't know if it's enough. But they are good changes. Overall, this patch is really good in quality. I like everything about it. Literally 100% approval rate. I'm not speaking about the things that haven't been done. Like, for example, Jimmy Raynor buff. Or other things.
Greetings, friend.
Really, really good.
J-Paul.
Mike Hogu. Rip Mike Hogu. No, he'll still be fine. Yeah, okay. So, really good change. Bug fix, bug fix, bug fix. This was an important one that everyone was very well aware of. Nazeebo now properly gets stacks again. I have some people asking me sometimes on the stream, how do you get 175 stacks by level 20 with Nazeebo? And maybe this was part of it, why it was not easy. Bug fix, bug fix, bug fix, bug fix, bug fix. So I wasn't aware of any of the other bugs. Overall, good stuff, good work, and good patch. And now let's play some Hero League. Okay, Muko, your replay is going to be the next one that I analyze for the replay analysis, okay?
Greetings, friend.
Grublogging.
It's a good one, we reviewed it. But I'm going to save my voice for a bit. So I'm not going to do it just yet. But once I do the replay review, it will be yours. Show the doggo. Hey, Donna saying grumpy puppy. Thanks, guys.
Greetings, friend.
Need more Stukov.
Stukov. Logie. Logie. Good boy. He's a tired doggo. He has had a hard life. Hooker is slang for prostitute? Really? Oh. Awkward word usage then. A user of Stitches hooks, I should say then. Yeah, I think easy prey is the best because you take a lot of damage while using Misha from minions in the lane and from towers and stuff.
I thank you.
And you don't have to use Mend Pet as often. You don't have to use Mend Pet as often because he doesn't take as much damage. So it ends up helping your mana pool.
Enemy slain.
A little bit.
Double whammy. Hat trick.
Ah!
No.
More in a row! Oh, I hate that guy.
And that's 5, ladies.
Quintuple whammy.